Hey everyone, this is big. I want everyone to download the PIC TV network on your Roku search bar. My brother David Evans is growing PIC TV fans, and I want us to help my brother blow up PIC TV. Boom! Click and play www.thepictvnetwork.com. Bomb.
Hello, everybody. This is David Evans, your president of PIC TV Network. I want to thank you for tuning in to a brand new hot show on PIC TV Network. All of our friends watching all over the world. This show is going to inspire you. It's going to motivate you. It's going to encourage you. It's going to make you really, really think and plan for something beautiful in the future. And I'm so happy today I have my co-host, Brother Horton. Everybody loves Brother Horton. He's a man of faith, a man of God, and he's a man who helps the community. This is what I love about Brother Horton. He's always serving people. For over 40 some odd years, Brother Horton and his wonderful wife has been blessing people. You know, he is the reason why we have peace when a person goes from earth to glory. When we leave this planet, we all going to leave here. We're going to leave this. Let me get it right. We're going to leave this planet right here, and we're going to be up with the Lord. And Brother Horton is the first person I called. It's Brother Horton. When my mother passed away, we called Brother Horton. He made sure the arrangements were great. My father, Brother Horton, he made sure the arrangements was great. My sister Edie, my sister Brenda, my brother Bobby, 9 of us. And when one loved one passed away, there's a phone call after we pray and talk to God and the pastor. Brother Horton is always there. And he has a brand new show on PIC TV Network. You better tell somebody right now. We have a hot show on. It's called the Future Planning Show. And it's going to be the hottest show in America. And we want to thank our friends for watching with us. We often open up and we thank all of our friends for coming in from Brazil, Paris, Peru, Argentina, United States, the 7 corners of the universe, Antarctica. We got people from all over the world popping on through Roku. But again, I am so excited, Brother Horton coming on our brand new show, co-hosting with me. Brother Horton, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well there, Doc, and you?
Man, we doing good, man. I'm so happy and I'm excited about this hot new show, the Future Planning Show. Doc, and let's get right into it. Tell people who you are and why you still serving in the Washington, D.C. Kennedy Street community all these years.
Well, Doc, as we talked last week, we talked about the funeral home at 600 Kennedy Street Northwest. Like you say, we've actually been in existence since 1936. That was before my time. I'm actually second generation. And this is something that was not a plan of mine, but it was something that God put in me to be this servant that I am in this ministry that he gave me. One of the things I want to talk about today is back in the 1990s, there was a group of what they call conglomerates. They have been successful in purchasing cemeteries and funeral homes all over the world. And we had some concerns here in the metropolitan area about them taking over our funeral homes. Mm-hmm. And we never really had cemeteries, but we were concerned about how we could keep the independent cemeteries that we had from falling into their control.
Right.
So we had a meeting, and we had a meeting at Bible Way Church on 1100 New Jersey Avenue. Mm-hmm. Back in the early 90s. And I invited our national president at that time to come and speak to us. And Eddie, his name was Eddie Pitts. I mean, not Eddie, that's the Eddie Pitts from Commander. But and he came in and we asked him the question. Wow. Now, there was two independent cemeteries still left at that time. That was Harmony Cemetery, which is in Landover, And at that time, it was Forest Hill, which is out in Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
And both of those were at the meeting. And we asked him, what could we do as funeral directors to protect ourselves from being taken over by the conglomerate? And he said to us, right in the meeting at Bible Way, and this Mr. Bell, who was the owner of Harmony Cemetery, he pointed right to him. He said, what you all need to do is to buy this gentleman out, because as soon as he gets the right offer, he's going to sell. And it wasn't 6 months, and he sold out.
Wow.
To conglomerate. You know, and then there was Forest Hill was the only cemetery, independent cemetery left, and that was owned by an African American, and some fraudulent stuff went down to get him closed down, because he was out there by himself trying to run that cemetery and compete against a national conglomerate, which owned 3,000 some cemeteries and 2,000 some funeral homes worldwide.
Wow.
So, you know, that economic power they had, he was not able to fight them on, so they ended up shutting him down. So then I got a call from, this was like 1999, I got a call from Pastor Charles Wallace Smith, he just retired from Shiloh Baptist Church, and Pastor Charles Green. They had a meeting at Shiloh. That was back in 1999. And they called me to this meeting. And I mean, they just, out of the blue sky, just called me to come to this meeting. I didn't know what the meeting was about. When I got there, they asked me a question. They said, Brother Horton, they said, we're having problems. We had members of our church that back in the 50s, they purchased these graves from the area cemeteries like Maryland National and Harmony and all those cemeteries, Lincoln and Washington National. And back then in the 50s, they paid like $50 for the grave. He said, but now, this is 1999, they need to use the cemetery, the grave for burial, and they need like $2,000 for the opening and closing. And they're saying that if their members don't have that kind of money to pay for, so they come into the church and they're asking the church to help them with this expense. And they said to me, Brother Horton, we can't afford to do this for every member. Is there anything that the funeral homes can do to help us with this situation? And my answer to them was, yes, Pastor, there's something we can do. Get our own cemetery. So we can control the cost. So with that, I started on a crusade of recruiting some funeral homes and some other businessmen to come together and purchase some land to start a cemetery. And I was successful in bringing on 8 funeral homes. I won't call the names at this time. 8 funeral homes, a couple of businessmen, and 3 pastors to invest and try to get our own cemetery. Now it was a blessing. It was a gentleman named Don Abrams who owned 50 acres of land at 301 and Swanson Road. Mm-hmm. He had 50 acres of land that was already zoned for a cemetery. And so we went to him, and I was guided to him. I forgot who took me to him, but I was guided to him to go to him about putting a contract on this land. We put a contract on the land, and he said, and he just felt so strong about this. He said, I don't even want to deposit right now. When you all get the permit, when you get your license, then y'all can give me a deposit. I said, look at God. So we took a trip down to Baltimore to the Office of Cemetery Oversight, and we met with the director at that time. And I remember him just so his name was Mr. Scalar. I don't know if he's still living or not, but and I showed him what we're going to. Here's a group of African-American funeral directors trying to get their own cemetery. And here's my hand. He said to me, I know some people that's not going to like this. And I know what he's talking about. He's talking about the conglomerate, because this would open up the idea doors for other funeral homes in other areas of the country to do the same thing, which would defeat what they are doing. So we went on, and we had no problem. We went down to Baltimore next time to put in for the license, and that opened up pandemic's door. We started seeing all kind of problems. Then they came to us trying to fight us opening the cemetery up. Had the community battling against us. The community they were saying that we were going to be contaminating their well water with formaldehyde, and it just so happened there was a pastor who had a church and a cemetery in Brandywine. So we went and had an environmental study done on his property, and we had done our funeral home had done a couple of burials at that cemetery, and there were other past burials there too. So we did the environmental study on that cemetery, and it came back 0% contamination. So they couldn't get us on that, because we're not going to contaminate your well water with formaldehyde, because the formaldehyde has been proven that it's not going to sink into your well. So that didn't work. So they took us to battle about counseling the special exception, because he had a special exception to turn his land into a cemetery. And we were back and forth at the courthouse in Upper Marlboro, arguing the point about opening this land as a cemetery. And the cemetery was on I want to call the councilman's name, but he said to me, he said, I cannot go with you on this cemetery project, because if I do, my constituents will never re-elect me. He said, this is my only income. He said, the other council members, their attorneys, they have other income. This is my only income, so I cannot go along with this. I'm going to have to go against it. So what ended up, they closed down their special exception. We said, how you do that? This special exception is there. They say, well, the law says if you don't use the special exception in a year's time, we can rescind it, or you have to reapply. I said, oh my goodness. I said, I told him this. I said, I know this. We've had this kind of situation before in the county, and I don't believe it's happened like this, but because of the color of our skin, I truly believe this is why this is happening. So the vote went down, and council members voted to void this special exception, so we couldn't use the land for the cemetery. And one of the council members, who's a good friend of mine, he told me, he said that he had to go against it, because he said, because if I go against it, I'll fall on a knife. If I needed anything done, then they would not vote with me. So I had to go against it. And this is, I guess, this is how politics work. So we didn't get that piece of land. So a little further down the road, we found another 50 acres of land. And this first piece was clear land. I mean, clear land, nothing but a barn there. I mean, we could have just went right and started the cemetery just like that, rolling hills and everything. So we didn't get that, so we went down the road a little further at 301 and Croom Road. We found 50 acres of land there, but nothing but trees. So we put a contract on that land, and paying the mortgage on the land for a year or so, and then we would have some meetings here in my office here, 600 Kennedy Street, with the group, the funeral directors and the pastors that were partners. And I said to them, I said, now is the time we need to put the money together to rezone the property and restructure it. And I had a couple of the funeral directors say to me, well, where are we going to get the money from? I said, well, we all have a funeral home. There's 8 of us have funeral homes. We could put our buildings up as collateral and get any money we need. And it was said to me, we don't want to do that. It broke my heart. I said, well, why did we put a contract on this land and pay this mortgage, put a deposit down and pay this mortgage, and we're not going to go forward? It's nothing free in America. You know that. You got to pay. They would not do it. I tell you, Dr. Evans, I had nightmares. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I was stressed out. I ended up having a seizure because I wasn't resting properly. Now, went to the doctor, and the doctor did EKG, the EEG, the MRI, and they could not figure out why I had this seizure. And I know at that time I was getting some dental implants done, and I was getting local anesthesia. And so I told the doctor what was going on. He said, well, the local anesthesia, the stress, and the lack of rest lowered the threshold to bring on the seizure. So my wife, she called my pastor, Bishop Albert Owens, and told him what I was going through. And he called me. He said, Brother Horton, let it go and let God. He said, just like everything else, with prayer, we get through this like we do everything else. And another female pastor called me. I don't remember her name right now, but she called me and said, Brother Horton, evidently that's not the cemetery God wanted for you. Let it go. And that was like in 2018. You see the time between 1999 to 2000, all the time we're going through when we were paying meeting and paying mortgage and all that. 2019, I get an anonymous letter in the mail from a gentleman by the name of Mr. Simpson. Don't know him never met him, didn't know him, and opened the letter, and it was a letter addressed directly to me to purchase a already developed and existing cemetery.
Wow.
Chesapeake Highlands Memorial Gardens. I said, look at my God.
Whoa.
At my God. And I'm saying this to say that these are the pictures that I see put the pictures up here. I went there. I said, look at my God. And I'm saying this to say to my people, if God said it, it's done. Now, I think I've said last week on the show, I was not born into this profession. I was adopted into it. But God's plan is not my plan. Yes, I didn't plan to be in this, but God knew this was a way for me to get into a ministry that can support and help my people.
Yes, sir.
The pastors asked me what could I do to help with this situation of the expense for cemeteries. And I told them, yes, get our own cemetery. And I asked the funeral director to help me. And it's another thing with us not trusting each other and coming together. And I told them when we did that first adventure, I said, now, we might not see the benefit, but our people down the road can see the benefit. I said, we don't need the financial blessing. We don't need the financial benefit. We've been blessed. We got our own funeral homes, and we all got homes and what we need, but we need to do something to show our people how to come together and invest it together to make things better for us as a people in our community. So this cemetery was another blessing from God to let me see if I do God's will for my life, He will give me the desires of my heart. Now, the desire for the cemetery was not for me something I wanted personally, but I knew that it would help my people. We can bring the price up and turn our loved ones down. So you got some cemeteries now, $11,000 just for the burial alone, the grave, the open, closing, the vault, $11,000. We have at our cemetery, we have that same service starting at $4,800. So, and the conglomerates were owning all the cemeteries, so you couldn't go to another one because they own all of them. So you had to pay that kind of money. So we're here now with our cemetery, and we're praying and hoping and asking our people to support us, to support what we're trying to do, so we can help show the way for future generations. They can do something similar. Might not be the same thing, but it'd be something similar where they can come together in the community and do something that's going to keep the revenue, more revenue in our communities to help us, instead of giving it all back to others who are not really going to invest back with us. So I'm asking and I'm praying that our people will see the benefit of supporting one another. And we have this cemetery, like I say, we have the Horton Funeral Home, which is, like I say, we say started in 1936. Now we have the Horton Cemetery. It's not named Horton Cemetery, it's named Chesapeake Highlands Memorial Garden. The cemetery that started, we purchased it in 2019. And so we have the Horton Funeral Home, the Horton Cemetery, and we're getting ready to open up another Horton Funeral Home at 600 Kennedy Street, Northwest, Washington, D.C. And we're getting ready to open up another office out in Clinton, Maryland, the Horton Funeral Home. And we plan to put another funeral home on the cemetery grounds down in Calvert County. And I mean, and I know a lot of people don't want to hear the talk of a funeral home and a cemetery, but it's one of the things that we know for certain we're going to leave here. So we're either going to be interred in the ground by burial, or we're going to be cremated, and our cremains will be interred into a niche or mausoleum, or a niche or ground burial. And we plan to put a retort for the crematory down in Charles County too. So we're planning to do this, and I said last week, this is not for me. I'm 75 years old. I'm okay telling them I'm 75 years old. I feel great, but I want to build this legacy and pass it on for somebody else to be blessed. Your people, I thank God for you all. You all have blessed me. I tell people, God has blessed me, but he's blessed me through his people. You, the people, have blessed me. You've trusted me to handle your loved ones' services when at time of need. And I just so grateful and love you all for that. And I promise you, at Horton Funeral Home, we're going to do what you ask us to do. We're here to serve. And Dad always said, we do anything within reason to serve the people of God. And I just know that if we can come together and do the will of God for our life, we all will be better off for it.
Yeah. And I'm excited. You know, you write. You got a book. You know, you have an own TV show on PIC TV Network, and I didn't know you was 75. I thought you was 25. You know, coming on here. Mother Edwards coming in from Charlotte, North Carolina. Hey, Mother Edwards, Yvonne Edwards. Amen. Thank you for popping in. She's enjoying the show. We have a lot of folks watching. But we're going to take a commercial break. But when we come back, we're going to show the pictures. And this is a miracle. Everything you said, I was like, how in the world did God bless you? We have to talk about this beautiful site that we have a Black-owned cemetery. I've never seen this in my life. I'm going down there and we're going to just take some pictures and do some. I mean, look at this beauty, the beauty of this place. We got to talk about every picture on here. We have a Black-owned cemetery from a Black owner. And your testimony, man, is going to touch millions. No wonder you have a TV show. Now I know why. Because the world needs to hear this message. We're going to take a commercial break.
To God be the glory. He is.
Yes, sir.
He is the Lord. Amen.
Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. You're watching a brand new hot show on the PIC TV Network. Tell your friends that we have Brother Horton. He's my co-host on, and he's talking about a brand new show that we have on. And you can get in touch with Brother Horton right now, 829-9000, 202-829-9000. Him and his wonderful team. and our family are doing amazing things. It's a brand new hot show called The Future Planning Show. We're going to take a commercial break. Don't touch that dial. You're watching PIC TV Network, the hottest television network on Roku television. And we're excited about a brand new show that you're going to be watching. Stay there. Don't touch that dial.
Mr. Pitt's presentation is really something that's been dear to my heart, is us pooling our resources together so that we can do more for ourselves. And him and I was just talking about it. I mean, we spend so much money in America as African-American people, but we don't spend it in our communities.
Let's look at this Commander Initiative. Black funeral professionals supporting one another to success, to greatness, and to levels of prosperity that we've never seen together.
We need to do for us instead of depending on somebody else to do for us. You know, we can do it. We generate the revenue, but we just won't trust each other and come together and pool these resources and do it for ourselves and our communities. It's a no-brainer.
Right now, when we look at what we need to do, I need the feedback from experienced, seasoned funeral directors.
Pooling our resources, like you say, co-op, buying the fluids together, buying our cars together so we can save money. When you save, then you got more to do to help somebody else.
It's available for anybody who wants to participate in the program. We have white commanders in the program already. We have teachers that are Caucasian. So it's not a prejudice kind of program.
It's been, you know, we say the Willie Lynch syndrome, divided and conquered. They keep us divided, they got us conquered. So we got to get past that, people. We got to get to the point where we can see that together we're stronger. You know, together, the word says it's more blessed to give than receive. And I've seen it work for me. I mean, I give, and God is going to continue to give. If you're giving and helping other people, God's going to see that you keep getting it through His people.
A lot of the depression I've had has been based around not letting go of people that have used or betrayed me. Today, I'm grateful for letting people go. Walk away from people who put you down. Walk away from fights that will never be resolved. Walk away from trying to please people who will never see your worth. The more you walk away from things that poison your soul, the healthier you will be. Today, I'm grateful for walking away. What are you grateful for? Please share in the comments and click the subscribe button to hear daily gratitude. Be grateful and share this with your friends.
Hello, everybody. This is David Evans, your president of PIC TV Network. It's a hot new show on right now. It's called a Future Planning Show. And I'm so happy again. I have one of the greatest men of love and serving community. He is a community leader. He is a person who helps folks in that transition. And Brother Horton has been serving the community for over 40 years, folks. And he's here on PIC TV Network. He has a series of shows coming on. This is a series, not a one and done, not a spotlight interview. This is a series. We're in our second set of shows coming on, and it is hot. It's a brand new show, folks, and we're excited about the Future Planning Show. It's helping you understand what takes place when a person leaves the planet. Who is the person to call, and what do you do? Brother Horton, I'm so happy again, man, for you being on the show. Don't tell nobody you're 75 because you look like you're 25. First of all, your wife keeping you looking good. She's keeping you looking good. We have a lot of folks coming in. Mother Edwards popping on, giving a lot of love. She's all the way from Charlotte, North Carolina. She said she's enjoying the show. She has a lot of comments coming on, and we'll tell you about those too. But let's talk a little bit about the Black-owned cemetery. That I don't know nowhere on planet Earth. And, we have a Black-owned cemetery by you. And again, you shared the story of how this happened. But when I look at this place, I look at beauty. Look how beautiful this place is. It's nice and clean.
But there are other Black-owned cemeteries, especially in the South. Okay. And even up in Pennsylvania, there's some Black-owned cemeteries. I don't know how much land, but
okay.
I don't know it. This motivation I have. Now, what I have done, I have made. I brought in it's 50 pastors.
Wow.
Who formed an organization called CREAM, Community Resource Education Action Mandate. That means we're trying to take and educate the community to come together. And I have made them stockholders in the cemetery. And I told them, and I told them, I don't need your money. I need you to come in and try to educate your people to use this cemetery so we can generate the revenue and we can reinvest back in our community. So, and like everything, we know how we are. We're slow at doing what needs to be done. And I'm just so blessed that there's no pressure on us to pay for this cemetery, because God has blessed us so well that we were able to pay for the cemetery, and we don't owe a note. And I don't mind telling people we don't owe a note. We were blessed to pay outright for it, and that's only by God. God has orchestrated that. Yeah. Because if we owed a note, we'd be struggling every month trying to pay a note. We don't have that struggle. We've been given time to let this work.
And when just to hear your story, you didn't give up. You had to go through hills and valleys and mountains to get to this destination. It reminds me of the children of Israel coming out of Egypt before they got to the promised land. They had to go through the giants. Yep. They had to go through the wilderness, the Sinai Peninsula. They had to go through the Jordan River. They had to cross overs. I mean, they had to do so many things to get to the promised land. And look what you've done. To God be the glory.
That's why I tell people, this is my story. I haven't been perfect, but I sure been faithful. I've been faithful to God I was brought up, and I made mistakes. I ain't perfect, but I've been a person who loved people. Yeah. I said, even coming up playing sports in the point guard, the quarterback, the catcher on the team, the person that helps the team win. Yeah. And if the team wins, we all win.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is God has let my little light shine all my life. And I just want to, for the rest of my life, I just want to be a blessing. And I think I said with last week, and I said that song in the spirit back in the Baptist church that you can't beat God's giving no matter how hard you try.
Yes, sir.
The more you
Yes,
give,
sir.
the more he gives to you. So just keep
Yes,
on.
sir.
And it's
Keep
really
on.
I've seen it work in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And my people, I'm just asking that we come together and do what needs to be done to help us get where we need to go.
Yeah.
And we got some politicians that don't mean us well,
Right.
but we can do it for ourselves. We've come this far by faith,
That's right.
leaning
That's
on the
right.
Lord. So
That's right.
we look where we've come from, and they try to stop us all along the way. But look, we accomplished everything that we've come. Always, I never thought I'd see a black president in my lifetime.
Yes, sir. Yes,
But
sir.
we had one.
Yes, sir. And now, and from a business standpoint, Brother Horton, again, when my sister Brenda passed away, and my sister, my sister-in-law, Glendale wanted $10,000. They wanted $10,000. No check. No, you can't give them no food stamps either. They don't want no food stamps. They don't want no check.
Yep. They wanted up, and I mean, and that was their price, and they knew they could get it because they controlled the cemetery. So that's the price they had, and a lot of us have to pay it because that's the only cemetery. That's why, and this is why a lot of folks are going to cremations there, because they don't have to pay that cost at the cemetery, that expensive cost. I mean, we know right now there's a cemetery that's locally. I mean, the site, the opening, closing, and the outer burial contain a concrete box, $11,000. That's not the funeral. That's just the burial. And I tell people, by us having a cemetery, we know what we do. We take the backhoe, we open the ground up, we put the bottom of the concrete box in the ground. When the loved one comes there for burial, we put the casket in and put the top on the concrete box and take the backhoe and cover the grave up. $11,000. That's what some cemeteries are charging. And like I say, we started $4,800, and we are here to help whenever we can. And they're expenses because we have to pay expenses. So, but we try to keep it as minimal as we can, so that we can serve our loved ones and give them what they need. So, the more we come together, the more we can do for each other.
Yeah, and I want to talk about, Brother Horton, again, the beauty of where you come from. Those who are watching, 600 Kennedy Street, Northwest, Washington, D.C., 211. If you want to call Brother Horton for services right now, or just to talk, he does a lot of things for churches. When you're having a special event, you can get the limo. One of our pastors had a big celebration. Jerome Bowie had something for Winston Cheney, and he had a big appreciation program. He called Brother Horton. Brother Horton had the limos out there. So you saving right there from that perspective. And also, Brother Horton, I want you to talk about your relationship with the pastors. First of all, Bishop Owens, you got to give him some love, because that is,
amen. That's my pastor. Well, he's retired now, but I brag because even though I have great parents who have raised us and gave us a great foundation, but I told Bishop Owens at an event publicly, I tell him I can brag, Bishop, that you have saved me. I listened to your word, how you have. I listened to your word, how you preach to us, and I watched you live in front of us.
And down through the years, Brother Horton, we were together in the 80s, man. I got to tell my age, too. We were together in the 80s at Calvary on Park Road. And you've been faithful all these years to one ministry. You haven't gone all around the place serving everybody. You've been faithful.
Well, I tell you what when before we moved to Rhode Island Avenue, we were having a service at Cadoza, and I had the children with me. And when Bishop, when he finished the sermon, he would come to the back of the church and greet everybody as we were leaving. And I think, I'm trying to think, my children might have been 3 or 4 years old, the youngest one. And they repeated his message back to him. I mean, they actually repeated. If I said my young child could understand his message, this is the place for us. And that's where we stayed, right there. Because he spoke the word that everybody could understand, even the young children could understand it. And he's truly been an awesome blessing to my life. I like to say, living the word and preaching the word to me. And he's been a great influence, and he's supported my ministry here at the funeral home and the ministry at the cemetery. And he is a stockholder
and down through the years, and you talking about Calvary in the 80s, I preached my trial sermon there, and it was a trial sermon, stand on the foundation, a man, common man, Grant Thompson, Andy Franklin. I go back to the old days.
Oh man, you got all of y'all. I'm telling you, that's a road. That's a road call there.
My brother-in-law Daryl Harrington, Darlene.
Yeah.
You know, back in that day, we were just teenagers, Ralph. All of us, man, and
Ralph Marshall,
gave me an opportunity to preach my trial sermons. I also served on the outreach ministry, president outreach ministry, also treasury of the ministers. And then this is where I really got my start. People don't know this. I did the first recording at Greater Mount Calvary in the 80s, and I was working at the Department of Navy, and I rented a camera. It was a camera, and we were having church. And I said, Bishop, can I record the Sunday service? And I had a video. It was a video. I didn't know if that was a VHS video. It was so long ago. And I recorded one of the first services there. And co-pastor Susie preached.
Oh yeah.
Man, when she get up there, I mean the fire. And she would pray.
Yes.
Co-pastor would pray. And you can hear the fire of co-pastor Susie on. When she would pray on that altar, Mother Bowser, you know, man, Mother Edwards and all them come together for noonday prayer. The fire would be burning in that place.
I tell you,
and then Mother Baines would cook that chicken. Horton, you remember Mother Baines?
Yes.
Mother Baines would cook that chicken. Woo! That's why I stayed around Calvary. Mother Baines.
Co-pastor and Bishop, Lord have mercy, what a dynamic duo, man.
Man,
they saved a lot of souls. I tell you.
Yeah,
they've been an awesome blessing.
Yeah, we thank God. Mother Edwards popped in and said Bishop Owens and Pastor Carter known very well. I was Bishop Owens' state secretary for years. Look at Mother Edwards. She need to come on this show. Mother, you need to come on this show. She said, I was the state secretary for many, many years. Yeah. So,
I want the people in the audience to understand that we're here to support you and help you in any way we can. I mean it. I give back in any way I can support. We're gonna put the mortuary science program into the high schools, the 11th and 12th grade, to try to get some jobs for these individuals. Like I said before, with the trade school, we have got to open doors for our people, and I just need the folks to pray for us and support us. But you know, they say prayers without works is dead. So pray is one thing, but we need you to come out and support us.
Yeah, and it's gonna be amazing, folks. I'm just so happy again when I look at a Black-owned cemetery, Brother Horton. Thank you for not giving up, man. Thank you for hanging in there. And we're gonna go down here, folks. Look at the scenery. Just look at the water fountain. Look at the beautiful, beautiful landscape. But Horton, I know when you've seen this, man, you was like, man, this is a beautiful, 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 beautiful place, and it was worth the wait.
Yep.
When you see this, and man, the landscape is beautiful.
That's how God does things. If you do His will, He gonna show up and show out. I tell you.
Talk about this little part right here, Doctor. I love that little. That's
a cabana where people come and they sit around in the cabana there and just There's the pond of water, and we have people there come on. They bring their blankets, and they picnic on the grounds, and sit out and we're planning to make it. We're gonna put an outdoor chapel there where you can have your repast there. You can have picnics there, because we want this to be not just a place for the deceased. We want the living to be able to come there and just relax and be amongst their loved ones if they want to. And we have some great plans for this facility, but we need our people to help us so we can move forward and be a greater blessing to our people.
We are, and this is a beautiful, and it's not that far. Brother Horton is a beautiful place, and we want everybody who's watching right now, to know that Brother Horton is here to help you into future planning. We want to send our love and prayers out to one of our brothers that we grew up with, David Dupree, who passed away. Brother Horton, can you tell the world about your relationship with David Dupree?
Well, David, he was on the deacon board at Calvary. We were on the deacon board at the same time before he left and moved away to, I think, in Tennessee. He moved, a great guy, and one of Bishop's favorites. He like to say, Bishop has had a lot of young men that he has nurtured and groomed, and they've all turned out well. And I say to David's family, my condolences. God bless you. And David Dupree was a wonderful, wonderful man of God. And I'll say, God bless you all again.
Yeah, and he served for years, man, and was faithful, and was an attorney too.
Yeah, I'll say he was an attorney. Yeah, that's right.
Served many years and was faithful. Doc, and also Angie Stone. We have to give some love out to Angie Stone's family, one of the great singers of all times, a great gift to the world. And Brother Horton, she was just coming from doing something she loved. She was just coming from doing a concert.
Yes.
From that concert. And that's why this future planning show is so important. She never thought that was to be her last ride. She never thought, Brother Horton, that would be something that her family would be planning for her, final planning on earth. Brother Horton, just out of nowhere. But I thought that I heard, and you got to correct me on this, when rich people or the presidents pass away, their obituary is already up there. They already got something written up for them.
If they pre-plan, and this is what Mrs. Belton is going to talk about on the next show, is about advanced planning for this, and not even planning for death, but to plan to live better, to leave an inheritance for your loved one if you can. I've seen so many situations where generation after generation, nobody's growing because nobody's trying to help the next generation, and we got to do better. We got to do better, and we got to do the advanced plan, because it's not fair for me to leave my responsibility on somebody else taking care of it. That's my responsibility to take care of my funeral arrangements, not to say, well, I'm not going to let them take care of it. That's not fair. And this is one thing we've got to start being fair to each other and do unto others as you would have them to do unto you. And that's the biggest thing. We got to start treating each other the way we want others to treat us.
Yeah.
And this world will be better if we do that.
Yeah. And Brother Horton, before we close this show, I don't know how many thousands and thousands of people you help every year, but thank you for helping me and my family. But Brother Horton, talk about when a family comes to you and have nothing. And I remember you told me one time, I could have helped you got some insurance. When some families walk in there, Brother Horton has zero.
Right.
And you're trying to the stress comes on them. The fussing and fighting, the anger and all of that. But how do you deal with families like that, Brother Horton? That's a hard thing to do.
Well, I'll tell you like this, Dr. Evans. I tell my people, if you're truly, truly honest with me, I will never tell you no. And the reason why, because I say God has never told me no. And I will never tell his people no. if you're being honest. And that's it. Because I mean, we spend money on a lot of things that we don't need. And people say, well, we don't need the burial either, but the body's got to be disposed of some kind of way. We just can't leave it here on earth just laying around. That's why there's a responsibility to dispose of the human remains. But I will never push you out my door without serving you. If you really honestly telling me the truth, I'm going to do, because, and we've had some tough times, but God always makes a way.
Yeah.
And always made a way.
I want to commend you for helping the family. You know, when the plane went down, you was one of the family members that you served and helped. I want to thank you, Brother Horton, for doing that. And COVID, before we close, I know I keep saying, I'm like the preacher. We go ahead close out.
Yeah.
But Brother Horton, I want you to talk about, before we close out the show, about the thousands of people of COVID and the stress that was on all funeral homes, not just you.
Yeah.
Brother Horton, how many calls you was getting per week or per day, Brother Horton?
Well, I mean, you know, COVID was just running so rapid. Some like up in New York, they had to do mass burial. The death was coming so fast. They had to do mass burials, open up a big opening in the earth and just put body after body right there, because the funeral homes are not taking them in because of the fear of the infection. So we were not having traditional funerals and burial. We were just having immediate burial. You pick the person up and go right to the graveside. So that was a very traumatic time, but we got through that, and I just thank God that here at our firm we had no infections, and I just did, and we were very cautious, and we had let families know we'll serve you. We put them in a sealed casket and have a service at the graveside, but we couldn't bring them inside because of fear of infecting the facility. Then we had to shut the facility down. And we've had a couple of funeral homes that we know in the area that had that happen. They had staff members who died because they were working loved ones with the AIDS virus. So that was a very traumatic time. Yeah. And also, Doctor, I want to say, you know, we were the funeral home that handled Congressman Lewis's service. And that came about because of my national connections. I've been in this organization called the International Cemetery, Crematory, and Funeral Association. I was on the front page of a international magazine, and 16-page write-up. And I go to conventions, and I go get the knowledge of how to be a better professional. And this has helped me grow. And my people, we've got to educate ourselves and help educate our young loved ones that's coming behind us. We've got to help them. Yeah. If they will let us help them, let's help them. And that's what we're trying to do. We have got to do better in our communities, helping ourselves and helping our loved ones and employing our loved ones to get them jobs. Because if we don't get them employment, they're gonna stay on the corner doing what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So we've got to do better and sometimes those kids just want somebody to show some love toward them. Yeah. And I speak to all of them. I'm up here on Kennedy Street. I speak to all of them, and I love them. I mean, I love what they do, but I love them. And
you stayed in the hood. You stayed in the hood. You know, about Horton. Never left, man. 600 Kennedy Street. Now we got some pictures up there. Who's this young man up there on this photo up there? Who is this man down here at the bottom? Who's that young man?
That's me. That is me. I mean, like I say, the love of God in my heart, and that's why I smile all the time, because I love how God has blessed me through His people, and I want His people to know that I love you, and I'm here for you. Anything I can do to bless you and help you, I'm here for you.
And this has been an amazing show. We got part 2. Now, those who are watching, we got a series of shows coming up. Brother Horton is my co-host, and he's co-hosting a brand new hot show on PIC TV Network. You can watch this every Wednesday at 6 p.m. and on Sundays at 6 p.m. You can watch it Wednesdays and Sundays. It's a series of shows coming on every week. And guess what? You can be on. You can call in like Mother Edwards is doing, chiming in. Mother Edwards, she's telling everybody, I am so happy. She said, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Congratulations to you. And you and Mother Edwards go way back, Brother Horton. Mother Edwards go way back. Mother Edwards is 90 years old now.
Amen. 90. Amen. 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 To God be the glory.
She's 90 on paper, but she's really 30 when you see her. She's really 30 years old because she can go on the internet, she can Facebook time and do everything, man.
All right. To God be the glory. Amen.
She has a young spirit. So those who are watching right now, thank you for watching the show. We got part 2 coming up. Don't go far. We're excited. Miss Belton is going to come on. Brother Horton, man, I'm so proud of you, man. This show is amazing because people heard your history. They heard about the Black-owned cemetery. I am so excited. I cannot wait to tell all of my pastors and friends about we have a Black-owned cemetery, folks, and we need to support Brother Horton and his vision and invest. We don't have to go to all the traditional cemeteries no more. We have our own, and it's beautiful. I mean, it's 5 stars, Brother Horton.
Thank you,
I
sir.
love it, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, we can't wait to ride down there. I can't wait to ride down and we take some pictures and go live and do some recordings from right there. And
Amen.
Again, it's not a place of doom and gloom. People go there for memorials. I still go to my mother's and Mother Evans. I go down there. And
they go out there and picnic. They had their blankets. They picnic right on the grass out there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and to appreciate life, you have to understand death. And we go be with the Lord. The asking from the body is to be present with the Lord.
Yes,
and that's the beauty of it. And I want to thank you. Those who are watching right now, don't forget to call right now. Don't delay. If you need some advice, if you need some counseling, if you need somebody to talk to about a loved one, call Horton's Funeral Services, 600 Kennedy Street, Northwest, Washington, D.C., 829-9000. Brother, tell them you enjoyed the service, you enjoyed the program. I know Darlene is watching, Darrell is watching, all the Calvary's watching.
Hey, Doc, did you give them the name of the cemetery and the phone number for the cemetery?
Oh, yeah, put that up there, Brother Horton. Can you give that out right quick?
The name of the cemetery is Chesapeake Highlands Memorial Garden. And the phone number is 410-257-0544. That's 410-257-0544.
Yeah, and that's the number to call, 410-257-0544. I'm telling you, it's amazing. Bro, Horton, I'm excited, man. I keep saying you're a TV star now. You know, you got two series in, and then you're gonna take my job, bro. Horton. You keep doing so good. You and your wife gonna take my job.
No, we're gonna stay here. We're gonna support each other.
Yeah, we got to get these price of eggs down, though. I don't know what's up with these eggs. These egg prices, bro, Horton, man.
Yep, that's what I say. We stick together. We can control some of the stuff that's going on with us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's nothing but love. Thank you for watching, folks. We're going to come back with part 2. We got another show coming after this. Don't touch that dial. You're watching PIC TV Network. Hot new show. Brother Horton is bringing it to the world. He's giving you his best when we're talking about the future planning show. And you do need this information. You do need to know about it. And it's going to help all of us. We plan to go to the doctor, right? We plan to go to the football game. We plan to go to the basketball game. You plan to go to the inauguration. You plan for trips. You plan for travel. You plan to go out of town. You plan to do whatever you do. Why don't you put this in place so you can plan to keep your family stress-free when you leave this place and you check out. This is David Evans, President PIC TV Network. We see you on the next show of PIC TV Network. And don't forget to support PIC TV by getting your phone, scanning that QR code. If you enjoyed this program and you want to see more programs like we have on PIC TV Network, go to the QR code. Scan the QR code so you can support PIC TV. It's the place to be. It's your network on Roku, the PIC TV network. I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for supporting PIC TV. Watch PICTV.com. Send a gift. Send a donation. We're listener-supported broadcast, and we are supported by the supporters. That means you who watch us right now. Our partners and friends keep our network alive. So go to that QR code, scan it, take your time, scan the QR code, send a donation. If you want to see more programs like we have on here right now on PIC TV Network, new shows and programs, and you can be on. This is David Evans, your president. Thank you for your time. Hey, I'll see you on the next show on PIC TV. God bless you until we meet again.
We've all been hurt at some point, even abandoned. Many of us have done the hurting ourselves. We get to the point where we don't trust anyone, nor do we feel worthy of being loved by anyone. Then there's that one person who just doesn't give up on loving you. Their love is unconditional. Their love stays long enough for you to heal. And then they promise to never leave. That's love you can count on. God's love.
Thank you for watching PIC TV Network. You made it to another show, folks. Don't forget to keep watching PIC TV. It's the place to be. God bless.
Hey, friend. I've got some super exciting news to share with you in the world of technology. Dr. David Evans has just introduced the PIC TV Network AI VIP voice promo, and it's absolutely mind-blowing. Now, you can take your next event to a whole new level of awesomeness by getting the VIP voice promo. Imagine the possibilities. To learn more and seize this fantastic opportunity, give him a call at 240-423-9820. Embrace the tech revolution and get ready for some serious fun. Let's celebrate together.